The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Today on Aging Horizons, we are going to be talking about something so important. We're going to be talking about Medicare, and we're going to be talking to two of my very favorite people, SHIP coordinators from across the state. We're going to be talking to Mary Lou McElveen and Pam Roach, and they're going to be giving us some wonderful information all about Medicare, what's new in 2025, and most importantly, how and where you can contact a SHIP coordinator. So stay tuned.
A decade of Montana fourth graders on Energy Share. When winter gets tough here in Montana, Lily Wallace knows who can help keep your home warm. Energy Share. That's right, says Livia Little. Energy Share wants to make sure that every Montanan stays warm, no matter how cold it gets outside. Thanks to Energy Share, we'll be cozy tonight. Energy Share is not a government program. It's neighbors helping neighbors who face energy emergencies the Montana way. Call or visit our website today. Energy Share is a good way to care.
Can you say ombudsman?
Ombudsman. Benson?
Uma Doodlesman? Fortunately, you don't have to say it right to get the help of a long-term care ombudsman. If you or a loved one reside in assisted living or long-term care, an ombudsman can help resolve any issue. And these services are completely free and confidential. Now, why don't you try that again?
Ombudsman.
Did you just text me?
I didn't want to disturb you if you were sleeping.
Sleeping? I'm sitting right next to you, silly.
There you are. Hey, I found a couple of Medicare helping programs online that I think we ought to look into.
It says if we qualify, we can get help paying for our prescription drugs. Oh, and there's a program that can help pay our Part B premium.
To learn more about extra help and Medicare savings programs, call your local SHIP counselor today.
Maybe I better text him.
You've probably seen some big-name celebrities on your TV lately talking about all the Medicare benefits you're missing out on. But the insurance companies who are paying for these ads may be pushing benefits not available in Montana. Fortunately, help is available from a friendly state health insurance assistance program counselor who can help you sort it all out. It's free, and we screen everyone for eligibility regardless of your zip code. It's Montanans helping Montanans. Call today.
Welcome to Aging Horizons, brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services. I'm your host, Katie Lovell, and today we are speaking to SHIP coordinators from across the state. We are speaking with Pam Roach and Mary Lou McElveen, and we are talking all about the wonderful SHIP program, and we're going to talk a little bit about Medicare. Pam, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Appreciate being here. It's good to see you, Katie.
You too. Well, the SHIP program is one of my absolute favorite programs in the state of Montana, but I think some of our viewers may not be as familiar with it. So can you tell me a little bit about the SHIP program and what it does?
Well, first of all, I'll start out explaining what the acronym SHIP means. It's State Health Insurance Assistance Program, and that means people who are trained in Medicare are helping those who have Medicare or will soon start Medicare, as well as their family and their caregivers. And so we are all across Montana, as well as all across the United States. So you do have SHIP counselors, Medicare counselors out there to help with any kind of Medicare, whether it's you're new to and we're getting you enrolled, or we're looking at plans for you.
And Mary Lou, tell me a little bit about how someone can pay for a SHIP counselor. How do you hire one?
Oh, well, we're free, so that's a great thing. Actually, when you call our 1-800 number across the state, you would be delegated to the area in which your cell phone connects you to. Sometimes people have moved, and so they end up on the other side of the state calling Roundup, Montana, which is where I am. And they just ask for Medicare help with Medicare, whether that question be that they're going to be turning 65 in the next few months or the next year, and they just have questions about how the process gets started, or whether they are in the throes of Medicare and they're not really sure what they should be doing with that red, white, and blue card. And of course, we always warn them about Medicare fraud, and Senior Medicare Patrol is on high alert these days with teaching people not to be sharing that Medicare number. It's sacred, like your Social Security number is. And we just want people to know that they can call a SHIP counselor, whether they have questions at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, during open enrollment, which runs from October 15th through December 7th. And that is our busiest time of year in helping the general population with Medicare and looking at Part D plans, D for drugs. And that keeps us busy, and as well as on top of what the insurance or companies are doing with Medicare premiums, not Medicare premiums, but Medicare Part D premiums. And this year we have some changes that we're going to talk about coming up, as well as just offering that help for people or their family members that have general questions about what Medicare offers them.
And Pam, can you tell me what's the difference between a SHIP counselor and an insurance agent?
So as a SHIP counselor, we're a neutral third party, and we are just providing information about options that you have for Medicare. We are not selling you any one particular policy or type or brand of company. We're just showing you these are your options. We give you things to think about when we ask you questions, what are you most interested in? And then you make the decision about what you would like to enroll into, and then we can assist with the enrollment.
Wonderful. And Mary Lou, when someone is going to contact a SHIP counselor, what type of information should they have in front of them or bring with them to their appointment?
Well, if they've not enrolled in Medicare yet, we're going to want to call Social Security, and I'm happy to do that with people. Sometimes folks are really comfortable doing that on their own, and we have them contact Social Security to get their Medicare started. If they have a question about their Medicare policy, whether they have a Medicare Advantage plan or Medicare, I would want them to call Medicare directly or that Medicare Advantage plan directly to ask the question regarding maybe something that was unusual on a bill. And but sometimes a lot of people just want someone to hold their hand. They really are unsure of how this is going to work. If you've worked for a company for 20 years and you've always been on the company insurance, this is very new as well as very different. So there are some decisions that need to be made, and we want to be able to help them with that. And that's what SHIP counselors really do, as Pam said, is give them the options that are available and what opportunities they also have in choosing this new type of health insurance or health care.
Pam, just to reiterate, these are people that live and work in your community. When you go see a SHIP counselor, they're someone local, correct?
Yes, and for most communities, you might have someone who is within the town that you're at, or it might be a couple towns over, but you do have SHIP counselors all across Montana, and we can help whomever calls wherever you may be at.
That is so wonderful. What a wonderful resource, and something that's free. Like Mary Lou said, we don't have to hire these people. They are already there to work with us.
Yep.
That's wonderful. All right, when we get back, ladies, I'd love to go over a little bit about Medicare. I know this is a topic that, even though we've had this conversation many, many times, I still have times where I can't remember the difference between A and B and C and D and maybe L and OP. Maybe that's a new one that I haven't even remembered. And we'll talk about all those changes coming up to Medicare. So make sure you stay tuned. We've got lots of information about how to figure out what parts of Medicare you may need, where do you get those programs, and what are the differences, and how do you figure out which ones are right for you. And we're going to talk a little bit about the changes that are coming to Medicare in 2025. So make sure you stay tuned.
Hey, caregivers, did you know that respite time is your time? How will you spend it?
How about some good old-fashioned me time for starters?
Michelle Smith, Helena.
Or maybe play a high-stakes game of volleyball with my other kiddo. Gotta teach him who's boss, you know. I could even make my famous spinach lasagna. Never hear any complaints about that.
Montana Lifespan Respite. Respite for caregivers. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. It's okay to get it.
Hey, Mom. More lasagna, please?
I think the most pleasant surprise when we turned 65 and signed up for Medicare Part B was finding out about our Welcome to Medicare preventive visit.
It was free, and it gave us the opportunity to visit with our doctors and establish a plan for our health going forward.
They reviewed our medical history, measured our height, weight, blood pressure, and counseled us on other risk factors.
To learn more about Medicare's free or low-cost preventive and wellness benefits, call your local SHIP counselor at 800-551-3191. I mentioned it's free, right?
Twice.
I've been shooting since I was young. It's something I've always enjoyed. I wasn't feeling like myself, and my friend noticed. He asked if he could hold onto my guns temporarily. At first, I was a little shocked, but then I agreed. I think he saved my life that day.
Medicare loses $60 million in Montana each year, $70 billion nationally. Medicare processes 4.5 million claims a day. They don't know who your doctor is, but you do. Mistakes can happen.
Read your Medicare statements and call Montana Senior Medicare Patrol if you see anything unexpected.
1-800-551-3191. This project is supported by a grant by the Administration for Community Living.
Welcome back to Aging Horizons. Today we are speaking with Pam Roach and Murray Lou McElveen, and we're talking all about Medicare, the SHIP program, and the changes to the 2025 Medicare year. So, ladies, thank you again so much for being here. Pam, let's start with you. Tell me a little bit about Medicare. When someone is turning 65, they're going to receive Medicare. What does that even mean?
Well, it means that they're going to be enrolling into Medicare, and you actually start with Social Security when you enroll. And the reason that you're doing that is that they're looking at your work history to make sure that you've worked at least 10 years in the United States and have paid the FICA taxes, which are the Medicare and Social Security taxes. And so then you can decide if you're working, if you have creditable coverage, meaning that your employer's health plan covers as well or better than Medicare, particularly with prescriptions, then you can just go into Part A, which is hospital inpatient coverage. Or if you'd like to go ahead with Part A and B, B is the health part of it, the medical, which is your doctor's visits, durable medical equipment, tests and procedures in outpatient hospital. And then once you get your A and B, if you're going with A and B, then you're looking at prescription coverage, and that can either be a standalone Part D plan or it can be an Advantage plan.
Murray Lou, can you explain the difference to me between a Medicare Advantage plan and then having Medicare's A, B, and D?
Absolutely. So many times folks want a different choice other than Medicare, and the attempt to privatize or give people option was to create something like Medicare Advantage. So several insurance companies offer what's called a Medicare Advantage plan. It not only covers, it's like an umbrella over your A, B, as well as many times the D, but you want to confirm that it does come with a D plan. And many times it comes with other benefits. For a lot of people, it's exciting because they only have to pay a little bit more for that Medicare Advantage plan, or sometimes it's also $0, and they get a little bit of extra benefits. They do need to know that it comes with a copay when you go to the doctor, such as $25, $45 when you go to see a specialist. It does cover things such as maybe an exercise program called Silver Sneakers, and then there are other programs that come under the Medicare Advantage plan that look attractive to some people, and so people like to have that choice. And knowing what your Medicare Advantage plan is going to offer you, as well as whether or not it's going to cover you in the area you live in, is a very important question. Not all Advantage plans are created equal, and they're not all equally accepted. Whereas if Medicare is accepted, then Medicare is accepted. And Medicare is accepted nationwide. It is a federal program. And so if you go out of state to visit your family member, you're going to be able to see a doctor if you need to in their state. If you have a Medicare Advantage plan, you would want to make sure that that plan might travel with you if you are an avid traveler within the country, within the United States. Medicare is not medical coverage outside of the United States. We always encourage people, if you're going on a trip outside the country, get the extra medical insurance for that because your Medicare does not cover it. And Medicare Advantage is another choice that folks get to make, and you would want to make sure that it covered your Part D in your prescriptions.
And Pam, we're going to go back to you. How do folks decide what is best for them?
So when they come and visit a SHIP counselor, we put in their prescriptions, and then we go to the Medicare.gov website, and that gives us an idea of all of the plans that are available in that area, both standalone Part B plan and Advantage plans. And so then we just pull up the plans. We talk to them about what are their interests. Are they traveling, like Murray Lou talked about? Are they staying at home? Do they prefer the Advantage plan? Do they prefer original Medicare? And then we just show them what their options are. And as they look through those options, they begin to get an idea of what they most are interested in. And then that's when we can help them do the actual enrollment.
Wonderful. Murray Lou, some of the parts of Medicare have a cost to them. Can you explain which parts of Medicare come with a cost or a premium?
Well, if you were to go with a supplement plan, so remember that Medicare is on an 80-20 split, and that means that if it is a Medicare available charge, you go to see the doctor and they give you a treatment for something, prescribe your medications, it's all under Medicare, that's covered. You might pick up a supplement plan at the same time that you've enrolled in Medicare. You have a window in which to pick up a supplement, in that you will be automatically enrolled. There's no question asked. There's no look back. You're making sure that you're going to have that coverage. And a supplement, for many people, the ones that they purchase, start out around $100 a month. It's a plan G, or as in go, or N as in Nancy. And those plans many times cover all of your 20% that you would be responsible for. But they only cover Medicare covered expenses, just like Medicare Advantage only covers Medicare covered expenses. So you want to make sure of that. But a lot of people really like that supplement. The thing to know is that it's about $100 a month when you first start, and then as you age, it goes up in price. And so by the time you're 85, that might be $300 a month. However, if you have some pretty heavy-duty health costs, maybe you're having the shots for macular degeneration in your eyes, and those are about $6,000 every 6-7 weeks. $300 a month seems like a pretty good price to pay for that supplement. So a person really needs to weigh at the age of 65 whether a supplement is something they want to invest in for their health care alongside their Medicare A and B. That's one way. The other way, of course, is the Medicare Advantage plans, and those sometimes have $0 premium, and then some of them run up to about $195, and it just depends on, as Pam stated, the benefits that you're looking to get out of your medical health care plan. It's a real personal choice at this point.
Thank you. All right, when we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about some of those helping programs that can help you cover the cost of Medicare. So stay tuned.
Elder abuse is a growing problem, and it's happening right here in our Montana communities. At least 1 in 10 older adults are victims of physical or emotional abuse, financial exploitation, or neglect. To get help or report elder abuse, call your local area agency on aging or Adult Protective Services at 1-844-277-9300.
Every 65 seconds, someone is affected with Alzheimer's or other dementias. Many become isolated at a time when help is most needed. If you or someone you love is affected, help is available, both for people with memory loss and their caregivers. Memory loss can feel frightening, but you are not alone. Call the free 24/7 Alzheimer's Association helpline, 800-272-3900, for guidance and support.
You mean I can get help paying my prescription drug premiums?
Let me get this straight. I could be eligible for help with my family's prescription premiums even though I own my own home?
And our assets won't be counted.
If you're a Montana resident enrolled in the Medicare prescription drug program, you could be eligible for help paying your premiums. Call or visit the Big Sky RX website today to find out, even if you think you're over income.
What do you know about that? I'm eligible.
When I found out it was diabetes, my first thought was, Barb, you need help. You have to take control of this. There is help. My doctor gave me a phone number. I called and signed up with a diabetes educator. There is help. I have to put blinders on when I walk past the bakery counter. I can feel my blood sugar go up. You succeed a little at a time. If you have diabetes, help is available. You do not have to do it alone.
Ask your doctor about diabetes education or visit montana211.org.
Welcome back to Aging Horizons. Today we are speaking with Pam Roach and Murray Lou McElveen, and they are SHIP coordinators from across the state of Montana. We've already covered Medicare A, B, C, D, G, and N, and now we're going to talk a little bit about some of the programs that can help defray those costs for folks. So, Pam, one of the things I love most about Medicare is that we really thought through, there are folks that can't afford the premiums that come with B and D. So tell me about some of the programs that can assist folks with those costs.
So if you are within a certain income and resource guideline, there is a program to help with prescription costs through Social Security. It's called Extra Help. So when our clients are in the office, we go over those guidelines with them. And if they are eligible, then we can go ahead and do the online application, which takes about 15-20 minutes. And then Social Security will let them know if they've been accepted into that program. And so what it does is that it will reduce the monthly premium, and a lot of times it'll bring it down to zero. It'll take care of the deductible if a plan has the deductible, which this year most plans have a $590 deductible. And then it holds the prescription costs from anywhere from zero to a little over $4 to a little under $13. And so it really helps the out-of-pocket all the way around. So with the Part B premium, which is $185 this year, there's a program under the Medicaid umbrella called the Medicare Savings Program. And again, it has income and resource guidelines. And when we talk to our clients, we also check with that one. That has a little bit longer application, which we usually do online. And if they are accepted into that program, it'll help pay that monthly Part B premium.
That is wonderful. Such a great way to help folks get the healthcare coverage costs. Murray Lou, can you tell me a little bit about Big Sky RX?
Well, sure. Big Sky RX is a program that typically I just either email or call them to help a person out with their premiums. And it also reduces the cost of the medications. It has a higher income guideline, and so even if somebody's not eligible for the Medicare savings programs or other like low-income savings programs with Social Security, the Big Sky RX program might be able to help somebody out that's in a higher income category but maybe has some more expensive medications and a higher premium to pay, such as there are premiums out there that are $95, and it would pay some of that to assist them. I think it's right around $50 this year to help with the cost of that premium. So there's always the opportunity for SHIP counselors and for our clientele, our beneficiaries, to be asking those questions back and forth to find out if there's a way to help folks save money in today's economy.
Which is so important for folks, and we certainly don't want people skipping medications or doctor visits. So exactly. Such wonderful programs, and folks can apply through their SHIP counselor or with the assistance of their SHIP counselor, right?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the changes that are coming to Medicare in 2025. Murray Lou, can you tell me about some of those changes?
Well, the biggest one is going to, well, there's a couple, so I shouldn't say the biggest one. One that is happening is the Part B premium was $174.70 last year. It's going up to $185 this year. And again, there are those programs that help folks with that cost. So if somebody is listening and or watching and would like to call us about that, please do, and see if you fit into that category that we can get you lined out for that. The other one is about prescription drug costs and the limit that a person would need to spend on medications. There was one medication last year, Eliquis, that was about $1,000 a month for a person. So having a cap of $2,000 for a year is a really important thing. Now that drug has come down drastically, as well as the cost of many prescriptions for diabetes. So always be checking, and if you have questions about how to look up medications to see the cost on them. I was doing that with a client yesterday. That's just another way that a SHIP counselor can help somebody navigate, because our clients aren't always comfortable looking things up on the internet, and so we can help them with that too. Pam, what do you think? Anything else?
So I think we probably should touch on that $2,000 cap limit. That is new for 2025, meaning that if your medication costs are going to be up to $2,000 in the year, that's the maximum you're going to pay. And then they also are offering, the prescription companies are offering what I'm calling budget billing, where you can ask the company, and you have to call them directly and say, okay, I'm going to have to pay that $2,000 this year. Can you send me a monthly bill breaking that amount down? And so then the company will look at your costs, and if they decide you're eligible for that program, instead of paying, let's say, $700 or $800 at the beginning of the year because you're paying your deductible and some of the cost of your prescriptions, they are going to say, okay, we're going to then break that down to maybe $167 a month, and then the company will send out that bill. You'll still be able to go and pick up your prescriptions. You just wouldn't be paying your pharmacy. You'd be paying that bill. So that's a big change for this year.
That is so wonderful. I just want to thank you both so much for coming on and for all of the work that you do as SHIP counselors across Montana. It's such an amazing program, and I know how hard you two work, especially, and I just appreciate everything you do for Montana. And so thank you so much today, and I wish you luck in the coming spring, that hopefully things get and stay easy for you. And thank you all for staying tuned to Aging Horizons. I hope you learned as much about Medicare, those helping programs, and most importantly, I hope that you learn to always contact a SHIP counselor if you have any questions. I'm Katie Lovell, and this was Aging Horizons.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.